As of the time of this recording, JW.org has an article titled Jesus Will End Poverty showing on their homepage. I find that wildly hypocritical. You want to know why? Let's get into it. Hey everybody, I know it's been a while since I posted a video. Work's been very busy, and I've been comforted in how well Best Channel Stop the Shunning has been doing in my absence. But my schedule has improved somewhat of late, and I hope to be able to make more videos in the near future. We'll just have to see how it goes. But in this video, I want to talk about Jesus Christ's ministry and examine how his actions compare with the practices of Jehovah's Witnesses. When I saw that article on their website, Jesus Will End Poverty, I just had to say something about it. It's upsetting is what it is. Because when you read the gospel, you can't help but be struck by how consistently Jesus helped the poor. Matthew 19:21, he told the rich young ruler, if you want to be perfect, go sell your possessions and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Luke 14:13-14, Jesus says, when you give a banquet, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, the blind, and you will be blessed. But when you look at Jehovah's Witnesses and the Watchtower organization, you notice something interesting and disturbing. Despite their claim to follow Jesus more closely than anyone else in the world, they don't operate charitable organizations dedicated to helping the poor. There are no witness-run homeless shelters, poverty relief programs, or systematic outreach to disadvantaged communities at all. Jesus also miraculously fed thousands of people with just a few loaves and fish. But even beyond miracles, he taught that feeding the hungry was essential to being his follower. Matthew 25:35, for I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. But the Watchtower doesn't maintain food banks, organize meal programs for communities experiencing any kind of food insecurity. Individual witnesses might help others personally, but there's no organizational structure dedicated to addressing hunger like other religions who call themselves Christians have. Then there's Jesus' example of caring for the sick. Jesus healed the sick throughout his ministry. Now, we may not be able to miraculously cure people, but we can follow his compassionate example through medical care. There's a lot of denominations that have founded hospitals, clinics, medical missions. Now, I'm no fan of the Catholic Church, but at least they operate over 5,000 hospitals worldwide. There are no Jehovah's Witness hospitals, clinics, or organized healthcare initiatives at all. Their most notable interaction with healthcare is their position against medical care because they prohibit blood transfusions. Jesus also raised the dead. Now, none of us can do that, but he also showed deep compassion for people who are grieving. Before he raised Lazarus, John 11:35 says, Jesus wept. He understood and shared in human grief. Now contrast that with the kind of behavior and attitude towards what happens when someone leaves Jehovah's Witnesses or gets disfellowship. They're cut off from their family and community support during life's most difficult moments. The practice of shunning stands in complete contrast to Jesus' compassion for those who are suffering. The governing body claims to be God's channel for dispensing spiritual food. But when Jesus defined true religion in Matthew 25:31-46, he emphasized caring for the hungry, thirsty, sick, and imprisoned as the proper ways to serve him. Now, if being a Christian means being Christ-like, shouldn't we expect to see those actions reflected in the organization's priorities? But their primary focus is on publishing literature and preaching, activities that, while potentially valuable, they weren't always Jesus-only focused. The kingdom was, but not peddling books and brochures while never helping anybody in his community. Now, to be clear, I knew individual witnesses who tried to be kind, generous people. The question isn't about individuals here. I'm talking about the organizational priorities and what it actually means to follow Jesus' example. Now, the sad reality is that those people were trying to be good, But their goodness was suppressed by the selfish, uncaring attitude of the Watchtower and its leaders, the governing body. Jesus said at John 13:35, "By this, everyone will know that you're my disciples, if you love one another." That love was demonstrated through action, feeding, healing, comforting, caring for others in practical ways. But the Watchtower specifically tells witnesses not to do these things for anyone who's not in their religion unless they're interested in converting. But even then, that help was limited. Jesus wasn't like that. That's not Christ-like at all. And it's worth reflecting on whether an organization that claims to represent Jesus Christ should more actively engage in the compassionate works that defined his ministry. As Jesus said, the tree is known by his fruit. Well, what do you think? I'd love to know. Be sure to leave a comment. I am very interested in your perspective and whether or not you think the actions and behavior of the Watchtower Jehovah's Witnesses actually reflect the attitude and ministry of Jesus Christ. Let me know in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching.